Hey y'all, it's Kirk. So Ask Dr. Kirk, here comes our next episode. Man, thank y'all so much for all the questions I've been getting. I've been getting just about as many hunting questions as medical questions, which is hysterical because I'm not a good hunter or a doctor. But here we are, so we're gonna swing away. Today I have a guest, one of my four sons, Kepler. Say hello, son.
Hello, son.
And you can count on that sophisticated humor from Team Inside. So, oh boy, yeah, family. So that's Dr. Kirk. Today, our question comes from Alan in Hazelhurst, Georgia. Alan writes, when I was young, I could do bow hunting, stand the cold. In fact, I could wear shirts and shorts in 30 and 40 degree weather. Now that I've gotten old and had two major surgeries, I no longer can stand the cold. What in the world? I have a heated jacket, a heated seat, and what radical change occurs when we get old? Alan, man, what a depressing question, buddy. Is there a radical change that occurs as we get older to make us cold intolerant? Absolutely. In fact, some just natural old age stuff does that, but there can be some disease processes that play into that as well. So things like diabetes, hypertension, these kind of things over time will make us a little bit cold intolerant. Thyroid is one of the big ones. So that's one thing that needs to be tested for to make sure that your thyroid isn't acting up. Thyroid is a very popular one. A lot of people suffer from, and especially as we get older, females are a little bit more predisposed for that. The thyroid does a whole lot of things. So that is a very complicated endocrine system, endocrine organ. So let's just keep it Dr. Kirk simple like you guys asking me. I want you to think of the thyroid as the body's thermostat. So when the thermostat conks out, you can imagine all sorts of things go on at your house. So the typical thyroid questions I would ask of a female, usually it's a female asking me, hey, you think my thyroid's going on? I always ask them these questions. Hey, is everybody else in the room just fine and you need a blanket? Have you noticed a whole lot more hair in the drain in your shower? If your answer is yes to those, typically I'm saying, okay, we need to check your thyroid. Because what happens is when the thyroid goes out, it's not only a heat or cold intolerance kind of situation, but also your metabolism goes down. Which brings me to why our cold intolerance occurs as we get older. So when we get older, we end up having a bit of cold intolerance because you remember when we get old, our metabolism actually goes down, right? So our wonderful metabolism that I want you to think of as like the furnace in our house and everything that is just burning and burning those wonderful calories that we throw in. And you know, when you're metabolically dealing with some things, heat is produced. So we end up having a much higher temperature, body temperature, you know, starts to go down as we get older. Metabolism drops. This is why we gain weight as we get older. So sadly, no one likes to face that, but yeah, I can't eat Taco Bell the way I used to. My son over here has no clue about any of it because he's living in that wonderful high metabolic thing. Couldn't gain a pound if he tried. So, yeah, so as we get older, our metabolism drops. That's one reason why we start to get cold intolerant. Also, our amount of fat actually drops. So the amount of body fat that we have internally drops. So that's a good thing as we get older. Speaking of which, one of my friends who is a plastic surgeon told me something interesting. Do you know that the new hip thing that's coming about is hand injections? Hand injections. Yeah, hand injections. So apparently the new thing is to inject fat in between where your hands, so you're looking plumper, I guess. Because the new thing is, yeah, you can do all this stuff and make you look all tight and everything, but old lady and old man hands are a dead giveaway on how old you are. So I guess that's the new thing. You guys want to, I don't try to invest in that. You want some fat? I can get some from some of the feral hogs we kill, I guess, and inject some fat into your hands if you want me to. losing some fat and of course losing some muscle mass is going to make us where we're a little bit more cold intolerant. Also, your blood vessels just overage. So our blood vessels over time are just not as efficient and not as elastic as they used to be. So our blood flow actually, since that is impeded, I wouldn't say impeded, but is not as efficient in old age, then we can't circulate blood as good as we used to. And circulating blood is part of how the body heats the system. So think about if the circulation pipe's not getting there where it needs to get to, you can't get that warm blood that's coming from your heart to your extremities anymore, then you're going to have a little bit of cold intolerance. So I know this is a very complex subject. It seems like it'll be a simple one, but Alan, I'm going to try to tell you, man, yeah, having 2 major surgeries, you know, maybe some of that played into it. But yeah, we just have these natural things that are going to occur as we age where we're going to be a little more cold intolerant. Sorry. From the Dr. Kirk hunting side of this, don't let that ever deter you from hunting anymore, buddy. I know you got your heated chair and your heated jacket and everything. We're going to find some other ways. We're going to keep you out in the woods, man. So you keep on doing God's work out there in the woods. Well, Alan, I hope this helps answer your question. This was Ask Dr. Kirk with our guest, Mr. Kepler. Say hello, Kepler.
Hello, Kepler.
There it is. Love you guys. Mean it. Jesus loves you. See you next time.